to Strategizing for Your Success this Friday. I am out of town, as I alluded to in the intro. And if you took a look at that picture, you may have been able to see where I am. Maybe you were able to guess, but I utilized a picture that kind of depicts where I ended up, and I wanted to share that with you. One of the things I wanted to do was to actually kind of be out in the environment a little bit more, but because of kind of the internet and things like that here, I wasn't able to do that. So hopefully service is good and you guys are seeing this, but unfortunately you are having to view this, the beautiful backdrop of our room in the lodge. But I did spare you the messy bed and that kind of thing. So I'm excited to let you know. Many of you might recognize this if you live in the area, if you live in Kentucky. But my husband and I kind of last minute, and I want to brag on God a little bit here in just a second for how he took care of us in this. But last minute decided yesterday, we've been talking about it. He took Thursday and Friday off. So we've been talking about it for a while that we wanted to get away. Our youngest is away at camp for a couple of days. So we thought, what a great opportunity to get away. So we have been wanting to, pick up and go for a couple of weeks, but when it got closer, we had a little mishap at the house, and our washer is going out. So we're like, do we stay home and take the time to get that fixed, or do we keep our plans and get out of town? And our original plans too were to head north. We were going to head up to a couple hours north of where we live to a little place called Hocking Hill. So those were our original plans. The washer starts going out. We start paying attention to the weather, and it looks like the weather's not going to be that great up in Hocking Hills for a couple of days. So we take a walk yesterday morning, and during that time, my husband said, you know what, we need this. We're going somewhere. I'm going to go home. I'm going to take a look at the radar. Wherever the weather is good, that's where we are headed. So lo and behold, due to that and the fact that we've never been here before, we took off down the road about 4.5 hours away and ended up at a little place called Land Between the Lakes here in Kentucky. We're like right on the Kentucky-Tennessee border, and we're real like at the most southwestern point of Kentucky almost that you can get to. And so we've never been here. We're campers. This is a state park, so it's a lot. We stayed within about 2.5 hours of our house, and we just decided that we were going to do it. And so we took off down the road. Here's where God is so good. This is what I want to tell you about how good God is. We got halfway down the road and realized, we got a late start, so we didn't get going until about 10 o'clock. And we were going to get here, like 4 o'clock in the afternoon, most of the day gone. Well, lo and behold, we get going down the road and realize that they're on Central Time down here. So we gained an hour when we got here, and the weather is just absolutely gorgeous. It's perfect. It's partly sunny. It's in the 80s, no rain. It's beautiful. The lodge that we're staying at is great. But one of the things that I did not realize, and I just kind of want to share with you, is how close we are to a little town called Mayfield, Kentucky. And if you live, in anywhere within a few hours, maybe even throughout the nation, you will realize that this Mayfield, Kentucky is where one of the most deadliest, if not the deadliest, I'm not sure, deadliest tornado ever to hit the state of Kentucky hit exactly 6 months ago to the day, December 10th. And so last night, Tim and I were taking a drive, and we're on this road. We're about 30 miles from Mayfield. But we're driving down the road, and I look off to the right, and I see all this debris. And it's clearly debris that is left over from a tornado. I mean, you can still almost see the path of the tornado, roof off of a building. You can still see all of those things. And I was just, immediately it brought me back to that tornado. And I asked my husband, I said, how close are we to Mayfield? He said, it's right down the road. I said, oh my goodness. When I asked my husband, I said, how close are we to Mayfield? He said, it's right down the road. I said, oh my goodness. This is still the repercussions that they're dealing with. And this was one building, one little area. So this morning at breakfast, we were having breakfast downstairs in the lodge, and I asked the gal that was our server, I said, have you lived here all your life? And she said, yes. I said, are you familiar, were you close? Were you impacted by that tornado in Mayfield? She said, it hit my house. And that just really kind of took my breath away because, we took this little trip to kind of get away from the mundane stress of our lives. Nothing major. No tornado hit our home and devastated us 6 months ago, 2.5 weeks before Christmas. We didn't lose a loved one. We didn't lose everything that we owned. And so it really caused me to pause and say, God, you are so good. You are so faithful. But let me not forget what other people are going through, And, so anyway, she said that's her brother worked in that candle factory that was decimated. Fortunately, he wasn't working that day. She did not lose a loved one close to her. She knew people that had lost loved ones, but she was in her home the day that tornado hit with her babies. And due to not having a basement, she had to go to across the street to where a friend of hers had a basement. She lost a car. She lost part of a roof. She, absolutely everything. She said the rebuild is still, years and years off totally. And that, she's seen very little help from FEMA. I'm not here to get political, but my goodness, 6 months after a devastation like this, the government should be helping families like her. She's a young mother. And, again, this is not a political statement at all, but for goodness sakes, help these people. Well, they still need help. And I'm just wondering, Tim and I are wondering now, what can we do? What can we do to help them? But if you, like me, were dealing with just some minor stress, please know, 1, God is faithful, and 2, there is likely someone, the hard pill for me to swallow is, I always have to remember there is someone out there that's got it so much worse. And the reality is I don't even have it bad. God is good. He is faithful. He has been so good. But I'm, if nothing else, I'm grateful for this trip to help me realize how good I do have it. And that I ought not complain about the little things. And I don't know, maybe somebody else needed to hear that, but I sure did. And I want us all to not forget these situations. It's not on the news where I am back at home. They don't talk about it, but it's still, as we were eating breakfast, the news was on, they're talking about it here. It's still very much a current issue and a current problem here in this area. So please pray for the residents of Mayfield and the surrounding areas. We're in Cadiz, Kentucky. So please pray for the people down in this area and their families, and that the government will step in and do something and begin to financially support these folks who are in their homes and get their daily needs met. So I'm grateful for that, and just grateful that I got to meet that sweet girl, and I will be praying for her and her family. And so I wanted to share with you, we took off down the road, and it was very important to me. I said to my husband, as I often do, I'm not going to screw up my goals that I have to stay on track just because we're getting out of town, just because we get out of town for a few days doesn't mean I lose all sight of the big long-term goals that I have for my health and wellness. And I want you to know that too. You are embarking on vacation season. If you haven't taken a long weekend yet, you're probably about to. You're getting getting ready to go on a week's vacation. You're getting ready to do something. And I want you to know that you do not have to let go of your health and wellness goals. You have to let go of your health and wellness goals just because you're going on vacation. And you don't have to hate the food you eat to stay within your goals and to stay on track. I am, my journal might not look the best these couple of days, but I'm still staying on track. You guys can look at it if we're connected on my Fitness Pal. If you're part of my Are Equipped for More family, you more than likely are connected with me. Go look at my journal. I'm a wee bit embarrassed about it, but it's okay. It is what it is, but I'm still staying on track. I'm walking more, and I might have a larger breakfast, but then I might just eat dinner. I don't need to eat 3 that size every day, but I can enjoy breakfast and eat light at lunch, or kind of skip over lunch and have a wonderful dinner. I'm doing that. But what I wanted to share with you are things, number one, I've never shared with you before, so these are new. I may have talked with you about them as brand new. Actually, a couple of them are brand new to me. I've never even had them before. So I've been doing this how long now, and I still find new foods. It's incredible. New foods, healthy foods, cheap foods, all the things I need to stay on track, and I'm still finding all of those things. And I want to share those with you. So we started out yesterday. I just kind of looks like and what it can look like for you as you are traveling. I hear so many people say, "Oh my gosh, it's the car ride that kills me." I grab the bag of chips, I grab the soft drink, and then we're sitting there for hours and hours and hours. And by the time I get out of the car, my hands are swollen, my feet are swollen, and that's not a health problem any more than it is. You need to stop every now and then, get out, stretch your body. You need to drink water instead of drinking the pop. You need to watch the sugar intake. There are things you can do to combat that. Don't let the devil lie to you and tell you just because you're on vacation, you can't do this. That is a lie. It is the best time to do it, I think, because you get the opportunity to move your body. And the Lord, start there. And you, Lord, He is who goes before you. He will be with you. He will not fail you, neither forsake you. Fear not, neither be dismayed. I could go on and on. Should mean to you in your health and wellness journey. You do not escape God's, He still sees you wherever you go, number one. But number two, utilize the power that He gave you that lives inside of you to combat the temptations and the situations. You do not want to come back from vacation 5 pounds heavier and feeling guilty. I don't care who you are. Nobody wants that. You want to come back refreshed, barely move a muscle. That's not what vacation was for. Vacation is for reconnecting with your family. It's for exploring new places. It's for meeting new people and sharing the gospel of Jesus Christ. And it's for refreshing and re-energizing this temple that God has called you to live in. But He goes with you. He goes before you. He also fights those enemies, because food oftentimes is the enemy that we fight on vacation. We fight it. It should feed 10 people. Those are the kinds of things that we fight. But let me just tell you what the commentator of my Bible says right after that verse. He says this: let the reader understand that this promise, referring to the promise that God goes before you, made or fear. That promise that was given to you, or given to Israel so long ago, is just as valid now, and even more so because of what Jesus did on the cross. It's even more valid for you today than it was back then. Utilize on vacation the power that works within you. Utilize that power. Help me make to fault my husband or myself for the food choices that we make. We're not here to do that, but we're also not here to, end every meal with heartburn and our blue jeans, are needing to come up and take a nap after we eat. We're not here so nicely perched behind me. Before I talk about those, the land between the lakes, if you don't know, I know we have family out west in Washington. So Judy, if you and the girls are watching, the land between the lakes here I see your pictures that you post and they're so beautiful, and it kind of reminds me of where I'm at now, just walking along these shorelines. But a peninsula, and on one side is Lake Barkley, and then you go across a bridge and over this land in the middle, and then on the other side is Kentucky Lake. So we drove all the way across, well, not all the way, it's not that far, but we drove across and we're on the Kentucky Lake side. And I want to, right outside of the state park is the land area. There's a working farm. There are, numerous trails. And so I'm excited to go and explore a little bit of that. And then obviously we want to get out on the lake some, because we're not that close to a larger lake where we live. So this is kind of a treat for us. So I'm very excited to do that. But that's what vacations are about. Explore these beautiful, beautiful places that God created. And so I'm very excited. So we took off down the road. I digressed. We took off down the road, had to stop for gas. Julie's feeling a little snacky. What is she going to do? We have, lots of good cold bottled water in the car so that we're not even tempted. You're not going to be tempted if the water's there. You're going to be tempted if there's nothing in the back seat and you're like, well, I got to get something to drink. So then you decide to get the pop. And if you would have made the decision to pack the cooler of water in the first place, you could have avoided that. But I was feeling a little snacky. We did have some of these snacks packed. And I thought about getting into them, but I thought, is there less, that I can do? We're not traveling 10, 12 hours. This is 4.5 hours. I'm not that hungry. What can I do? I just kind of want to keep, I want something in my mouth. So this is what I decided to do. I decided to go into the store and I just kind of bought a variety of hard candy. Some of these were supposed to be those like chewy mints, but they're really not. These are hard ones. And then some little sugar-free butterscotch. And then because I do like lollipops and I like Tootsie Rolls, I thought I'm just going to buy a couple of these. And then my rule is with things like this, though, you do not get to chew them up, because that's how you end up eating 10 of them and get cavities, a mouthful of cavities. So you just make sure you suck on them till they're gone. It gives you something to taste, something to do. Time passes and you haven't blown 500 calories sitting in the car driving down the road. So that is always a great option. Or just have chewing gum. Just have mints. I didn't have those at that time, but when I said, this is what I'm going to do. This is what I'm going to do. So that was great. And now we have them in our little room, and that we can grab them, one or two, take them with us when we go. Now on to the snacks that we are having in our room. And I just really need to remind you, I want to say this again. I don't miss any of the unhealthy stuff that I used. I'm not craving Doritos anymore. I'm not craving Cheetos. I'm not craving any of those snacks that have zero nutritional value. With all of what I'm going to show you today, some of them have pure fruit in them. So they're organic mostly, and they're made with very, very few preservatives. So these are whole ingredients. They are so tasty. I'm going to save the best for last. The rest of them I like equally. This was something I found actually a couple of months ago, and it's just become a staple. Number one, because look, they're in individual bags like this. 100 Rice Bites, very good. I mean, there's, they have not a whole lot of carbs. I mean, it just depends on what you're trying to do there. I know a lot of people really worry about carbs. The trouble with me and worrying about carbs is that I just cannot maintain a lifestyle of a low carb diet. That's just me. I cannot. I like things that have carbohydrates. It does not know what to do with simple, man-made, processed carbohydrates. But these are all natural. Listen, this is just crispy rice, puffed rice with blueberries and almonds. So yummy, 150 calories, and they're already sold like this. So when you buy these, you buy them like you buy like the little individual lunch bags of chips for your kiddos for lunches. That's how you buy these. So they come like 6 or 8 to a box or to a little bag. And the other one, they might be strawberry and blueberry. I'm not really sure. But anyway, so yummy. I love these. So we have these. And this is great because I can throw them in my purse when we're going out, if we're taking a hike, if we are out on a boat, if we are, whatever. I've got little individual servings of these, and I'm not dipping my hand down in a bag, and I don't know how many I've eaten. One bag. Do not get them hooked on the processed junk so that in 20 years they got to fight this battle. It does not matter if they don't have a weight problem. What matters is what they're putting into their body, because it affects them mentally, emotionally, and for them to acquire a taste for something. A good example of acquiring a taste for something, okay? I'll give you a great example. You're looking at somebody who I've loved Diet Coke all of my life, as long as I can remember. When I was first introduced to it, I loved it. I am a pop drinker, Diet Mountain Dew, Diet Coke. When I started this journey so many years ago, I began to drink a lot of water, and I remember several years back, a friend of mine introduced me to carbonated flavored drinks, and I thought I was gonna hurl. I just thought they were hideous. I did not like them at all. Over time, I drank more water and less pop. I reintroduced myself to carbonated sparkling waters. That's flavored sparkling waters, and I am in love. I am in love. This is my all-time favorite. LaCroix limoncello. I don't know. But I have no idea what the other flavor other than lemon is in this, but it's so good. I don't know what it is. I can't make it out. I don't know if it's watermelon. I just don't know, but it is so delicious. If anybody knows, tell me. But this is my favorite. But I get these in a kind of a variety pack out at Costco. I like all flavors. I drink Kirkland sparkling water, but it's all about acquiring the taste, developing the taste. And you have to do that by introducing the flavors. So if you've got kids that are hooked on fruit snacks and fruit strips and all of those sugary processed fruit snacks, it's time to get them off. These are pure organic layered fruit bars, and they are made with real fruit puree and real fruit juice. I love them. Look at the flavors that you get. A raspberry lemonade, strawberry banana, pineapple passion fruit. Perfect for summer, perfect for lunches, perfect for picnics. 60 calories each. Out there like me that wants to watch the calories in addition to having good food. You've got to if you have kids, I'm telling you, please hear me out on this. If you don't do it now, they're going to battle this. They're going to battle diabetes. They're going to battle hypertension. They're going to battle depression. It's time. It's time that we intervene for them. You've got to go through your cabinets. You've got to look at the food you're giving your kids, and you've got to make the changes now. Don't let them have to fight this battle. It's up to you. It's really not up to them. It's up to us to make sure the right foods are in the house. Can you do you have some? Please. And I love these. Every single flavor I love. Again, boom. Open this up, throw it in my bag, throw it in my purse, and I've got a great little snack. 60 calories, y'all. Come on. Can't beat that, right? Then these were fairly new to me, but I know a lot of our Equip for More family, they know these. If you know Aldi, you probably do know these, but check these out. Okay, I do not miss any kind of candy bar out there. There is no candy bar out there right now on the shelf that I am wishing that I could have over these right here. Promise. Okay, so I'm going to show them to you. Elevation Advance. These are good. You guys out there who do want to watch those carbs, I'll tell you how many carbs they have, because they're keto friendly. It says 17, which, again, I mean, this is seen as almost like it's only got 1 gram of total sugar, 2 grams of net carbs. It's got 5 grams of fiber. Remember what I said? We talked about that in one of our health guides. If you haven't read this one yet, get on the app and read that under the health guides. The benefits of fiber. Oh gosh, on a weight loss journey. So look, 5 grams of fiber in this. Can't beat that. Even now, here's what's really awesome. This caramel nut one, 130 calories. Caramel nut. I love caramel. This one, caramel double chocolate crunch. Come on. Who wouldn't love that, right? 1 sugar, 10 grams of protein, people. My gosh. Even forgot myself. 10 grams of protein. Holy moly, right? 150 calories. 150 these are so delicious. I'm telling you, this is not a hyped up granola bar. This tastes like a candy bar. These are so good. So good. Now, last, as I said, but not least, because it's my newfound favorite, and I will, these are so good. Oh, where am I getting these? Some ask is where these came from, right? So if you have a Kroger, if you don't, stores in your area sell things like this. Aldi is where these two came from. And then, of course, you know, I'm a huge Costco fan. So Kroger, Aldi, Costco, you could probably get them on Amazon. You can probably order all of these on Amazon. So just in case you're wondering, Simple Truth, that's a Kroger brand. Pure Organic, guarantee you can order that on Amazon if you don't have a Costco near you. Pure Organic layered fruit bars. These come from Costco. Elevation is the brand on the bars. And look at these. Okay, this is what I'm going to end with. Coconut crisps, sea salt caramel. Listen, even when I opened the bag, I was like, and when I looked at them, oh, that smells so good. Sea salt caramel. So I looked at these and I thought, oh gosh, I don't know. This is going to taste like a cracker, you know? Look at that. Looks like it's going to taste like a cracker. Coconut, cashews, coconut sugar, and sea salt, and cassava flour. Come on, 5 ingredients. Now, compare that to the bag of Doritos sitting in your pantry. Please stop feeding that stuff to your kids. It's so dangerous. I'm telling you, it's feeding that stuff to your kids. It's so dangerous. I'm telling you, it's so dangerous. Especially anything that has that orange or that red dye, the Cheetos, the Doritos. You got to get them out of your house. They're just not doing your family any good. It's a transition. It's a journey. It's a marathon, not a sprint. But I want you to prayerfully start today. But to taste this. I don't even know how to describe it. It's like crunchy, but a little bit chewy. So it's just like that really good brownie that's crunchy on the outside, but then it's a little bit chewy on the inside. That sea salt caramel is so good. It's so flavorful. Simply Nature is the brand. So good for you. A great good for you. Excuse me, snack. I'm not joking. So good. Then we are always like, can you bring us a to-go box straight from the beginning? Bring half of it back and we can eat it later. It's a great way to save money, great way to save calories. It's real simple. You can save on calories by not eating the bread, you know, on your burgers, by subsidy made to you. He goes before you. He fights your battles. He will not forsake you. He will never leave you. It is time. This is the time. Our theme for the month is building a dwelling place where God can live and thrive. That's what we're doing. This is his live, and you've got to do it for your kids too, right? So I just want to thank you all for tuning in. We appreciate you so much. I'm so glad to be here with you, every single family. You know what I'm going to say? It's time to join. Log on to the app, download it first, then launch the app and become part of our family, because today is weigh-in day. I weighed in yesterday morning because I knew I might not have a scale. So I am still staying faithful to the weighing in. I'm still watching what I'm doing while I'm out of town, and I want you to do the same. Please continue to pray for these precious people here in Mayfield and the surrounding counties that were so devastated 6 months ago today by that tornado right before Christmas. Don't let that escape you. Right before Christmas. I cannot even imagine. So I want to continue to pray for them, and I pray for you, and I just want to thank you for being part of our family. And until next week, you know what I'm going to say. Have a beautiful, blessed, and healthy day.